All right, let's take a look at how we are going to turn this image into an actual equation. So my advice would be to either start at the bottom or start at the top. Either is fine. The idea here is we want to target sections of curves to turn into actual equations. So if I look at this first little section right there, it looks like it's either an ellipse or a circle. I don't know what it is. I can figure that out once I start counting things. If I know this top piece and the x value of that top piece, that should be the same as the x value of the center. So I can follow that line down and see that that x value is 35, so now the x value of the center is 35. Similarly, if I use this side point, I should be able to go straight over and use the same y value as the y value of my center. So it looks like that y value is roughly 44. You can be off a little bit as long as you adjust for it in all of your equations. So let's say the center then is roughly 35, 44. Now, in order to write this equation, I need to know from the center how far up is it and how far to the side is it. Well, count. If I'm going from 44 up to the top, how far have I gone? We're literally just counting this. So from 44, I've gone up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've gone up 13 from the center. How far have I gone side to side? Again, just straight up count. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17 side to side. So it appears that this is going to be an except for the fact that I clearly can't count. 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I am silly. I went 13 side to side. I went 13 up and down, so that actually is going to be modeled really nicely with a circle is what we just found out. So how do you write the equation of the circle? Well, our center, x value is 35, so x minus 35 squared plus y minus 44 squared has to equal our radius squared, which we found to be 13, so equals 13 squared. And now to enter this into your calculator, you have to solve it for y. So solve that for y. So if you solve it for y, you're going to get y equals plus or minus the square root of 13 squared minus x minus 35 squared, and then plus 44, and that plus 44 is not part of that square root. Now what you need to understand is that this plus or minus is actually two equations. So since I want the top half of this circle and not the bottom half, only graph the positive square roots. I'm only going to graph the positive one. I'm not going to graph the negative one. Now, what you'll notice is I do not want this circle to continue all the way over. So I'm going to need to put a restriction on the domain of this function. I want it to stop graphing at this point because this does not appear to be modeled by the same circle. Maybe it is, but I don't know that it is, so I'm going to leave it for now. I want my graph to stop right there at that x value that we found earlier of 35. So to do that, I'm going to put a restriction on the domain. So I'm going to look at my equation. My equation is 44 plus the square root of 13 squared minus x minus 35 squared, just like that. Notice I moved the 44 to the front. That's totally fine. I prefer that. Now, I'm going to put that in parentheses, and I'm going to divide that by the restriction. Oh, you can't see. I'm going to divide that by the restriction. I want this graph to only show up for x values that are less than or equal to 35. So I'm going to type this right there into my calculator, and I will show you how to do that in the next video.